Hey guys, it's Cece, and today I am going to be doing a book review for everybody. I haven't done a book review in a while, and I decided that it was probably time for me to do a book review again. So the one that I read the most recently, and I think that I definitely have some stuff to talk about regarding, is The Girl in 6E by A.R. Torrey, I believe. This book was... I just bought it. I know, I shouldn't buy books while I'm here, but I bought this book while I was in Scotland, and I read it in a few days. And so I thought that I would talk about this book because it is not what I expected, and I just want to share some information with you regarding this book. So, first of all, this is a warning. This book is an erotic thriller. Emphasis on erotic. If you are not into that kind of thing, if you are not interested in reading it all about sex, this is not the book for you. Turn this off right now. There's no point in you going any further. This book does not hold back on the erotic portion of the erotic thriller. So, just so you know that going in, those are the warnings. Adult content. Heavy adult content. So first, let me do a summary of this book for you. So this book follows our main character, Deanna Madden. Or at least that is her name in the real world, but online her name is Jessica Riley. Jessica Riley, she gets money performing to webcams on a sex website. She is what is called a cam girl. And she is incredibly famous in the cam girl world. But in the real world, as Deanna Madden, she has not left her apartment in 3 years. She has not left her apartment in 3 years to keep her bloodlust, her need to kill, in check. That's right. She's also into murder. She really likes the idea of killing people. But then a girl is kidnapped who reminds Deanna of some of the darker fantasies of one of her clients, and she feels that she has to do something because she thinks she knows who kidnapped this little girl. So first up, what I want to talk about is the writing. I actually quite enjoyed the writing in this book. It's very quick, it's very easy to get through. I read it in exactly 3 sittings. And I could have done it in less, but I get busy here sometimes. But it would have been very easy to get through in 1 sitting. The chapters are incredibly short, 2 to 3 pages at a time. Plus, it has multiple POVs, which are actually all really well written. And I love moving between the different POVs because I think that it gives an insight into the fact that A.R. Torrey can create a lot of different kinds of characters that are really interesting. So yeah, I really enjoyed the different characters that we got to hear from. That was very cool. Now I would like to talk about characters, and here's where it gets a tiny bit weaker. Deanna felt sometimes very forced, which is an issue for me because when I am reading about psychopathic characters, sociopathic characters, characters who want to kill, I'm very picky. And sometimes the writing of those characters can feel really forced, like everything is over-dramatic, everything is a bit over the top, and that kind of annoys me. Some characters that I don't feel this way about, I would say, are Dexter from the TV show Dexter. I haven't read the books, and also some of the characters in Gillian Flynn's books. Those are both really well-written characters who I don't think that aspect of them is exaggerated. However, in this, Deanna sometimes came across as a bit too much, and I would roll my eyes every now and then because it just didn't quite feel real. I also sometimes had issues with the character of Jeremy, who felt like he was dropped in from like a romance series and didn't really fit into this at all. I just thought his character was very odd, and I didn't really understand why he was in the book. So, the good. This book was very fast-paced. I loved getting through it. It was such a fun thriller, absolutely, although the thriller really didn't start until about halfway through the book. However, it did keep me invested, and if it was going for shock factor, it achieved shock factor. And honestly, in a lot of places, this book reminded me a lot of Dark Places by Gillian Flynn. Now to talk about the bad. This book reminded me of a less well-done Dark Places by Gillian Flynn. I kept drawing the comparisons to Dark Places in my head and then it would fall short, which really was disappointing me more and more as I went along. Also, I did not really have a lot of love for the end of this book. It felt really rushed and out of nowhere, and I felt like a lot of the stuff at the beginning could have been shortened to include a bit more of the thriller aspect of the end, and also the final 20 pages of this book. I felt completely pulled out of the story at the end there. I felt like I was dropped into a new genre and a new book entirely, and honestly the last 20 pages significantly lowered my star rating for this book overall. But I guess to sum up, I don't want to tell you to not read this book because it was a good book and you might enjoy it a lot more than I did. That's entirely possible because I really liked it while I was reading it. I was going through it so quickly, and while I had a few questions and a few issues, it was very fun to read. Enough so that I'm going to be picking up the next book in this series. I want to read the next book. I think it's called Do Not Disturb. I've seen it at Waterstones. I might go get it because this was good enough to continue and to see where the characters are going, because the problems that I had with characterization, I think, might be improved upon in later books. So guys, that is my review of The Girl in 6E. If you have read this book, let me know what you thought of it in comments. I'm very curious to see some other reviews of this book because I've seen some reviews on Goodreads that I disagree with. I saw someone say that this book was better than Gone Girl, and that is a very big statement to make. So let me know what you thought of this book in comments. I'm very curious to see. And of course, thank you for watching this review, and I will see you in another video very soon. Bye!